Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the garage. Tonight we're making some more adjustments on my F80. So for those of you that don't know, this is my 2018 F80 M3, and I made a comment the other day, or I put it in the title of a comment, that this is a track car. Well, some of you commented or whatever and said it's not really a track car, or put it in quotations or whatnot. So this isn't a full-blown track car. This doesn't have, any aero or anything like that, but that doesn't mean it's not tracked. So I have a track day coming up next month. So I want to make some adjustments to the car. And right now it's a pretty stock car. So engine wise, all we have is a tune from Boot Mod. It's just a stage 1 tune, off the shelf, nothing crazy. Otherwise the engine bay is completely stock. So as you can see, nothing done in here. We have an Eventury engine cover. We have the dress up kit from, who is this? Blackline. So this is from Golden Wrench. Otherwise stock intakes, stock downpipe, stock charge pipe, stock charge cooler, everything is completely stock. So nothing here. We recently just installed this CS hood. So this is an OEM piece. I didn't have a chance to weigh it compared to the OEM aluminum one, but I'm guessing it's maybe 5 to 10 pounds. So not really something that I was looking to save in weight or anything. I mainly just wanted the vented hood, and I wanted to stay OEM. So other than that, like I said, engine bay is 100% stock. As far as the rest of the car goes, mainly we just have some dress up bits, some carbon fiber. So on the front, I have a CS style lip. This is actually chassis mounted with the OEM mounting hardware from a CS. And I have some side skirts, carbon fiber side skirts. Those are from Sencal Motorsports, a CS rear deck lid spoiler, and a V-style diffuser. That's basically all I got on the exterior of the car. Then I also have some Apex VS5 RS wheels with some sticky Bridgestone RE71 RSs. And that's mainly all I have done to the exterior of the car. Now, suspension-wise, I do have a set of Nitron R3 coilovers. So these are 3-way adjustable coilovers. They are very, very aggressive, but they're very good. So far I've had those for, I think, a few thousand miles, maybe 5,000 or 6,000 miles, and I absolutely love them. Haven't really had too much time to dial them in, and it's something that I'm looking forward to doing when I get to the track this next event. Other than that, we just have some simple brake upgrades just to make sure that we don't overheat. We're okay on track. So it's got stainless steel braided brake lines, Motul RBF 600 fluid, and right now I'm on some Ferodo DS2500 pads. These are kind of more of an upgraded street pad. Not that I think I've tracked on these before, but I wouldn't quite recommend it. They're definitely better than stock, better than the OEM pads that come on this car, but they still overheated after about 4 to 5 hot laps. So I'm actually going to upgrade. I'm getting some CSG CE1 and C1 pads. I believe that's what it's called. It's just the front and the rear. Otherwise, they're supposed to be the same compound. And those are some very aggressive track pads. They're supposed to be track only pads, but I've driven on the street with them before and they're okay. So tonight, the adjustment that I want to make is actually regarding the coilovers. So I've had this car corner balanced and aligned, and the ride height is okay. I'm not the happiest with it. I understand that corner balance, kind of sets the ride height, especially between the front and the rear. This isn't just a dedicated track car. I drive it on the street often. I'll probably end up shooting for 6 or 7, maybe 8 track days this year. That's about once a month or so during the viable months. So down here in Texas, it's kind of difficult to track during the months of June, July, August. It's just too hot. It's not really worth it. You go through tires, the track is too hot. So I just want to kind of adjust this front ride height. So the rears, I'm pretty happy with. I think they look good. I think that's a decent ride height. It's really not much lower than stock. Fits pretty well. If anything, it has a 5mm spacer on there now. Probably go a little bit more aggressive and maybe go up to a 10mm spacer. We're gonna see. This is already an 11-inch wheel with a 295/35. There's a 10-inch wheel with a 275/35. Up on here, I'm running about -27 degrees camber. This has a 10mm spacer on currently. The fitment's not bad, but I do wish it was just a little bit lower. We're gonna see if we can't get this. I say we shoot for maybe 1/2 inch lower. I think that would match closer to what the rears are. I'm gonna walk you guys through it. I'll show you what it looks like. I might even throw on a POV just so you guys can see what it looks like to adjust these coils. It's pretty simple. It doesn't take too long, but let's get into it. So the first thing we need to do, and I'm just gonna do this as a little bit of a reference, is I wanna get a measurement. So I wanna get a measurement of about where we're sitting ride height wise. So I'm just gonna measure from the ground to the edge of the fender. We are at, you can see right here, 26 and just over a quarter. So almost between a quarter and an eighth. Let's go check the other side. This side, we are at just under 26. This is 25 and 3/4. So now I know that's not even, and you guys might be thinking that's wrong. They should be even left to right. But like I said, this car was corner balanced. So that involves them adjusting the ride height on each corner to try and make the weight of the car the most balanced front to rear and left to right with a passenger in the car, or not passenger, but driver. And that's why the ride heights might look a little funky. You know, the car's weighted differently. You know, the engine isn't always perfectly centered. Sometimes there's a little bit more weight on the driver's side, a little bit more weight on the passenger side. You never know. That explains why the ride height's a little bit different, but we can use those numbers at least on each side and compare them before and after, whether or not how much we drop the car. So we're gonna shoot for about 1/2 inch. We'll see what the coilovers go for. We got plenty of room on the front lip. Let's go ahead and get the car jacked up, get the wheel off, and I can show you how it's done. Okay, so I swapped to the GoPro here. So hopefully you guys can still hear me well. So this is the coilover. These are the Nitron 3-ways. So on the top of the strut, they have an adjustment for dampening. It's a little bit difficult to see, but underneath here, there's an adjustment for high and low speed compression. So those are all stuff that pretty useful on the track. Our main goal today is we're going to be adjusting the ride height. So that is done with these right here. These are the locking collars. So basically you have 2 collars, one that adjusts the height and the second one that locks it in place. We're gonna go ahead and loosen this bottom collar, and then I can lower the top, and then I will adjust the top collar until I get it to where I want the lower one, and that'll change my ride height. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure the distance between here and the bottom of this collar, and then I will subtract, I think I'm gonna go either a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch, and then I will tighten everything back up, and then I can get the wheel back on and I'll check the ride height. So we have our 2 spanner wrenches here. Check which one fits which size. Okay, so this one fits here. We are going to use this, and we will loosen these collars. It can take some force sometimes. And this pin keeps falling out. A little difficult, but you want them to be difficult because you don't want it to you don't want your suspension risking coming off when you're on track or something. There we go. So I got those broken loose. So what we're gonna do, oh, this is stuck. So we're just gonna go ahead and start lowering this until we get to the desired ride height. And I'm just gonna go, I would rather not go too much at once. Let's see what, let's take a look what 1/2 inch might look like. I'm just gonna measure the gap in between here once we get to a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch. And then we'll know we've made the right change. Right there is good. So now all we're gonna do is take our larger spanner wrench and we're going to adjust the coilover down until we meet that same height. Nitrons actually have this cool tool here, which is a 3rd spanner wrench. This is also from Nitron. And this just makes it so much easier to turn these things. Now I'm going to tighten these 2 collars to make sure that they are not going anywhere. That is not something we want to happen. So you just do them like locking bolts. There we go. So now that we have this adjusted, we can go ahead and get the wheel thrown back on and we'll lower it to the ground. Checking ride height now is a little bit different because the other side of the car hasn't been done, but we'll go ahead and get the other side done as well, and then we can make our measurements, see how everything's looking. But we're still good, we're still tight. We have this helper spring here, which helps us with any worries on our preload. And then these are the springs by Nitron, so they make their own springs. These coilovers are amazing. So like I said, these are their 3-way adjustable R3s. They're pretty stiff, pretty aggressive for the street, but they handle super, super well. The car feels like it's on rails. It's hard to see, but up here we also have, they come with camber plates with camber and caster adjustment. One day I'll get some more SPL arms and then I can make even more adjustments, but these coilovers also come with their end links, adjustable end links. Let's go ahead and get the wheel thrown back on and let's see how it looks. Okay, so we got the car back on the ground. And like I said, we only did this one side. You can see it's a little bit lower, but I went ahead and took a measurement. And before we were at 26.25. And now measuring the exact same spot, straight to the middle of the wheel, we are at just below 26. 26, 7/8 or so. So we didn't get that much lower. Definitely did not get the full 1/2 inch lower. I might go ahead and jack this side up. Let's get it a little bit lower. It looks good, but it doesn't quite match the rears. I want just a little bit lower. It'll look a little bit better. Gonna go ahead and jack this side back up, make a little bit more of an adjustment, and then I'll come back to you when I get it back down on the ground. Okay, so I made another adjustment. Got it seated a little bit lower. I think this is about money. I think this is about where I want it to sit. I think that looks super good. Still pretty aggressive track setup. So if we take a measurement, we are now sitting at 25 3/4, 25 5/8. So that's just over 1/2 inch lower. That's kind of what my goal was. I think that looks super good. So from all angles, it's definitely lower. But yeah, man, I think that looks so much better. So if we go over to the other side, this side should still be a little bit higher. Yeah, definitely higher. We're gonna go ahead and make the same change that we made to this side that we did on that side. Then we can wrap it up, tighten everything up, and that'll be it for tonight. So now that we got the ride height all set, always make sure to go back, set your torque. You want to make sure that these are always torqued to spec. Definitely do not want one of those coming loose while you're on track. There we go. So that's it. We got the ride height adjusted. I think it looks really, really good. I actually went back off camera and I went ahead and changed the other side. So I lowered it to match the same 1/2 inch that I dropped on this side, and it was just too much. So what I did was I went ahead and evened them out. So I think we're within about 1/8 of an inch now from the ground to the fender height. Both sides are even. I'm probably gonna go get another alignment soon. I have that track day coming up, and I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more camber just cause it'll perform a little bit better on track. This is how this side is looking. So you can actually tell that there's a little more camber already on this side. It like makes a little bit more of that shadow on top, which kind of plays with your mind if it's the same ride height or not, but that's why we go ahead and measure. The car's looking good now. We'll probably go for a drive tomorrow, make sure everything drives well. We got them all torqued down. We have all the perches tightened up, so everything's looking good underneath. So like I mentioned, we have that track day coming up. That's gonna be at a track north of Dallas in a town called Decatur, or just outside of Decatur, Eagles Canyon Raceway. So I've been there before, absolutely love that track. So we're gonna go back with NASA. We have just a little bit more prep to do before then. We have some mods for the interior to go on, some mods for the exterior. We're gonna go ahead and throw on new brake pads, do a brake flush. We just did the oil change. We have the CS hood. We're gonna go ahead and do another alignment. Like I said, we got some interior parts coming, and then we'll be ready to track. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.